faded glory. The cost of power, the reckoning. The city of Washington, D.C. stood as a monument to what America had become. An empire of excess, waste, and deception. Skyscrapers gleamed in the distance, but beneath them, the streets were filled with the abandoned dreams of its citizens. The people whispered of a government that no longer served them, that had grown fat off their labor while sending their hard-earned wealth overseas. Commander Carlos watched from a rooftop, binoculars fixed on the Capitol building, now draped in banners of the global union. The architect's latest decree had come down earlier that day, another trillion-dollar aid sent abroad while veterans slept in the alleys below. "How much longer do they expect us to accept this?" Carlos muttered. Beside him, Raven adjusted her rifle scope. "Not much longer. People are waking up." Bowman, their ever-pragmatic ally, leaned against the rusted rooftop vent. "If we're going to change things, we need more than protests. We need a plan." The sellout. Inside the grand halls of the Senate chamber, Senator Donovan Chambers stood behind the podium, adjusting his silk tie before addressing the nation. "We are committed to fiscal responsibility," he declared, his voice smooth and rehearsed. "We must ensure that America remains a beacon of hope for the world." The words rang hollow, the same tired speech, the same false promises. The reality was clear. Congress had become nothing more than a bank for the global elite. Every vote was bought, and every decision was made with a price tag. Deep in the shadows of the chamber, Victor Don Sharp listened through a secure frequency. The transhuman super-soldier had once believed in the system. Now he saw it for what it was, a machine built to enrich the few while crushing the many. "We can't fight this with words," Victor whispered into his calm. "If we don't act now, we lose everything." The resistance rises. Carlos and his team met in the underground tunnels beneath the ruins of Old Washington. Maps, financial reports, and intercepted government transmissions were spread across the table. "The government is $36 trillion in debt," Raven said, tapping a document. "$1 trillion a year just in interest payments. They won't stop until the country collapses completely." Carlos nodded. "Then we make them stop." Bowman raised an eyebrow. "How?" "They control everything. The banks, the military, the media." Carlos looked at the group. "Then we take back what belongs to the people. No more foreign aid, while our citizens starve. No more bloated government leeching off taxpayers. We cut the waste, expose the lies, and remind the people that America belongs to them, not the bureaucrats, elites, or the architect." The turning point word spread like wildfire. The people were angry. The rallies turned into strikes, which turned into mass walkouts. The system began to tremble under its weight. In retaliation, the government deployed automated enforcement drones to silence the dissent. Protesters were labeled economic terrorists. Their bank accounts were frozen, and their businesses shut down. Carlos and his team moved quickly, hacking into the financial networks to reveal offshore accounts, missing funds, and secret transactions. The proof was undeniable that billions funneled away from American citizens and handed to foreign powers and corrupt officials. "We put America first," Carlos said in a live broadcast, his voice reaching millions. "We expose the corruption. We hold them accountable. The final battle." The architect issued his final warning: surrender or be erased. Carlos and his team refused. Under the cover of night, they stormed the Capitol. The battle was fierce. Drones filled the sky, agents fought in the streets, and the city burned. Inside the Senate chamber, Victor Don Sharp faced Senator Chambers, the man who had sold his nation for personal wealth. "You could have saved this country," Victor said, holding him by the collar. Chambers sneered. "There is no saving America. It's too late." Victor's grip tightened. Then we rebuild it. With that, the resistance took control. The financial records were released. The people saw the truth. The system collapsed under its weight. Epilogue: A New Dawn. 1 year later, the rebuilding had begun. Wasteful programs were eliminated, and the government was stripped down to its core functions. America had reclaimed its independence, sovereignty, and future. Standing atop the Lincoln Memorial, Carlos looked over the reborn city. "We finally put America first," Raven said. Carlos exhaled. "Yeah, but we can never let them take it from us again." The fight wasn't over. But for the first time in a long time, America again belonged to its people. Faded glory would never fade again.